Hey foodie friends, so today we're gonna make some sourdough discard banana bread. Now, let's get saucy. All right, foodie friends, like I said, sourdough discard banana bread. I've got everything here. Let's jump right in. First of all, in this bowl, I have one stick, 113 grams, half a cup of melted butter. To that, I'm adding in a half a cup of brown sugar and a quarter of a cup of granulated sugar. And we're just gonna go ahead and give this a whisk to combine. You can do this with a stand mixer or hand mixer if you have one. I just didn't want to pull out my stand mixer and I don't have a hand mixer, so I'm just going to do this by hand. Super simple, it's not a lot, so it's going to be easy to kind of do this all by hand. So once this is good and combined, we're going to then add in our eggs. We've got 2 large eggs. If I never say large eggs on here, I always use large eggs, and I typically make sure that that is in the written recipe, but if there's ever any question, I'm always using large eggs when I'm baking. So my recipes will always be written for that in case I forget to put it in the recipe or tell you on the channel. So 2 large eggs, one at a time. We're gonna go ahead and mix each one in before we add the next one and make sure we don't get any shell in there. So that one's in, give it a good mix. I don't like to crack my eggs on the side of my bowl just in case a piece of shell falls in there. You do you, whatever you like. I prefer to crack it on a flat surface or whatever, either on the counter or with the other egg as you just saw there, but give it a good crack and drop it in there. Make sure, again, no shell goes in there. All right, that's good and combined now with our other egg. So next we're gonna go in with the rest of our kind of wet ingredients. So this is 3 bananas in this bowl, 3 really ripe bananas that I just mashed up until they were pretty smooth with a potato masher, a fork, whatever. You could use this whisk even, but just get those mashed up. So those go in. I have here a half a cup of my sourdough discard. So that's just my unfed sourdough starter. And instead of throwing it away, I use it for baking. It adds a little extra flavor, moisture, lots of good stuff there. So that goes in. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. So I make my own vanilla. This is just some vanilla beans. Some of them I split, some of them I leave whole, squeeze the seeds out of some. So, and soak them in some, this is vodka. Sometimes I'll do bourbon, but anyway, just a teaspoon of this. I just gonna eyeball it a good splash of that. So there we go, some nice vanilla in there. And then give this another good mix. Make sure this is all really well combined before we add our flour. So you see this batter came together super fast. We're almost done with this already. And then we'll get it right in the oven, which is already preheated to 350 degrees. So that's ready for me. And I'm not waiting on my oven once my batter is mixed up. Always make sure you preheat your oven before you get started on your recipe, right? So that's there. Now we're gonna add in our flour mixture. So what I have in this bowl here is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, to which I have added some baking powder and baking soda, some kosher salt, and some cinnamon and nutmeg. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this in, and I'm gonna fold this in with my spatula here. You know, if you're using a mixer, go ahead and mix it in. Just be careful not to over mix it. We don't want the banana bread to be tough. We just want this just mixed in, so there's no real clumps or streaks of flour left in it, but we don't want to over mix it. This isn't somewhere where we're looking to develop gluten, because we don't want, you know, this is more like a cake, it's quick bread as they're called. And we're not looking for that structure. We're just looking for the nice kind of crumb and softness, moistness to this. So this is looking really good. And then the last thing I'm gonna add here is I have some walnuts that I just toasted in a pan. This is a cup of walnuts. You can skip that step. You can do pecans if you like. You could do chocolate chips in here, whatever you like. What I highly recommend though is if you're going to use the nuts, whether it be the walnuts or the pecans, that you toast them. You're baking them in the bread, so they're gonna cook, yes, but they're gonna have a much nuttier flavor if you toast them first. And that's not gonna happen because they're not really exposed to that heat of the oven, right? So just gonna go ahead and pop those in here, give that one last kind of mix. And then we can go into our pan. So I have a 5x9 loaf pan here that I have sprayed with some baking spray. So you could do just oil it, butter it, cooking spray. I like the baking spray. It's got a little bit of flour in there, so it's gonna really help this to not stick. You could also line this with some parchment paper if you like, whatever you wanna do with it. So we're gonna go in here, just get this all in. And then this is gonna go in our oven, like I said, 350 degrees. And that's gonna go in there for anywhere from like 55 to 65 minutes. I'm gonna start testing it probably around 50 minutes. And once a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, you'll know it's done. Then it's gonna have to come out and cool. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit in the pan and then take it out and cool it on a rack. So once it's good and cool, we'll come back and see the final product and give it a taste. Okay, foodie friends, and here it is, our beautiful banana bread loaf out of the oven and cooled. It looks amazing, it smells so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a decently thick slice here. Oh, look at that. You can see those walnuts in there. It looks absolutely amazing. Again, it smells super delicious. It's nice and soft and moist, and the outside's got a little bit of crunchiness to it. I'm really excited to give this a try. It's really tender, buttery, moist. Got that nice banana flavor, the crunch from those walnuts, a little bit of warmth from that cinnamon and nutmeg. Absolutely delicious by itself. Great with a little butter on there. I'm gonna do that in a minute. This would be great if it's actually toasted in a pan with some butter on it to get a little crispy on the cut side. This is absolutely fantastic. You guys are definitely gonna wanna try this. Thanks as always for joining me here on Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. You can follow me across all social media at Chef Lynn Wheeler. There'll be a link to the full written recipe in the description box below. That'll be on my website, cheflynnwheeler.com, with all of my other recipes. And remember, keep exploring, keep tasting, and keep celebrating the flavors that bring us together. So good.